Hey, fellow Jedi, I'm Mike, and you're watching Force Within TV. And today we're talking about how Kanan and Hera could find a happy ending. It's the Kanan and Hera happy ending theory. I want to have a quick shout out here to Trace Madoon, who sort of laid this out for me, or sort of gave me the inspiration to come up with this video, the happy ending for Kanan and Hera, as well. Guys, if you haven't checked out the Force Within TV channel, please do so at the end of this video if you like it. And also, make sure you wait to the end of the video where I have my question of the day. So before we get into the Kanan and Hera happy ending theory, I just want to take a quick look at Dave Filoni's tweet, which has a obvious connection to this topic. So in the video, we see a great image by Dave Filoni of a younger looking Kanan and Hera. Obviously, Kanan hasn't been blinded in this image yet, so we can assume, based on what he's tweeted, that this is a younger Kanan and Hera. But I'm just going to read off for you what he says here. He says, "No matter how dark the world around you is, there's a lightness and a joy when you are with someone who understands you, who truly knows you. Kanan and Hera's strength is that they lift each other up. Everyone was young once, and maybe this is how it went for a time. It was fun to imagine them in an earlier time before they carried all the burdens they do now, heading into season 4. Happy Friday." So another awesome tweet and image from Dave Filoni. He seems to be coming out with these more and more as we get closer to season 4. Let's get right into the theory though. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, I believe the Ghost Crew, our rebel friends, are going to go back to Lothal in season 4. We've seen images of this, but I think they're not going to be able to get the full support of Mon Mothma as well as the Rebel Alliance. They're going to have to go back and they're going to have to call in favors. I've already talked about how, Rex is going to call on some of his clone friends, right? In another video. They're going to be calling out, any sort of help that they can get. And this is where I believe Hera is going to reach out to Cham Syndulla. We know he's been a big part of the rebellion on Ryloth. If you've read Lords of the Sith, very interesting story there. Highly recommend it. And, so I think Cham is actually going to come to the aid of Hera on Lothal and is going to join the battle there. I think before they actually attack Lothal, and I think their main target is going to be the TIE Defender factory, but before they attack, Cham is going to sit Hera down and he's going to have a discussion with her about how he thinks she has done enough for the rebellion and how he thinks she shouldn't be sacrificing her entire life for the rebellion, right? She has been so committed. She has so much fire in her heart for the rebellion and seeing it through. But he thinks after the liberation of Lothal, she should move on. So that said, I think as the battle progresses and we see Darth Vader show up, he's going to be rushing towards the rebels, hunting down the rebels. And I believe the rebels are probably going to have explosives that need to be set off, and Cham is going to say, "You guys go on, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to activate the explosives." As Vader comes at the last minute, Vader shows up. Cham creates the explosion. I know what you're thinking. Well, Vader has to live. He's in episode 4, A New Hope, but Vader's just going to shrug it off. He's going to use the Force in some way to shrug off the explosion. We've seen Vader live through pretty unbelievable things already in Star Wars Rebels as well as the comics. So I believe he shrugs it off. Maybe he's a little hurting. That's why we see him in the Bacta tank in Rogue One. But back to Hera and Kanan after this battle. I believe there's going to be a big change in their relationship. So I think the rebels are actually going to inflict a lot of damage on Lothal, a lot of the infrastructure in the capital city there, wiping out the TIE Defender factory and whatnot. You know, of course, Darth Vader is going to escape, but after he does, and after the Empire reviews just how much damage is done to the planet Lothal, I believe they're going to withdraw. And I think Kanan and Hera are going to heed Cham's advice that they shouldn't sacrifice their entire lives for the rebellion, that they need to follow their heart, follow the love that they have for each other, and they settle down on Lothal and try and rebuild that planet. I think Hera has so much fire in her heart, yes, for the rebellion, but I think that she would see that that is a worthy cause, that she could help rebuild that community and still stay in touch and maybe give advice to the Rebel Alliance. So I can hear a lot of people yelling at me right now saying, but Hera is going to be a general in the rebellion. We heard about this in Rogue One. And here's the funny thing. I think that the events of Rogue One are actually going to be part of Rebels Season 4. And I think we're going to see them about mid-season. The final battle of Lothal is going to be, I think that's actually going to be the climax of this series. There may be smaller skirmishes earlier in the year, earlier in the season, but in the end, we will see that final desperate attack on Lothal. So, Dave Filoni has said that he's not going to end the Star Wars Rebels Season 4 on the Battle of Scarif, but he didn't say we wouldn't see the Battle of Scarif. We wouldn't see events from Rogue One unfolding. I think it's going to be really interlinked. Looking at the trailer, there we've seen U-Wings, right? We've seen what I think is the planet Edu. So there's a lot of linking between Season 4 and Rogue One, but I don't think we're going to see Star Wars Rebels Season 4 end at Rogue One. That it's not just going to, it's actually going to go beyond. But I think that if it does end this way, Dave Filoni's going to get his message across about sacrifice. He's talked a lot about sacrifice being a part of Star Wars, right? Luke was willing to sacrifice himself so that his father could redeem himself. That was really his power. In this case, it would be Cham really willing to sacrifice himself so that his daughter can have a better life as well, right? Cham, looking back at his life and all the fighting he's done, realize, trying to pass on his wisdom to Hera and Kanan, saying that you guys need to follow your heart and, settle down and start a family, maybe, whatever. So you guys let me know in the comments below, do you think there's any chance Hera will ever step away from the rebellion? That's our question of the day today. Is there any chance that Hera will step away from the rebellion? I want to say a big thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please head on over to Force Within TV, check out the channel, and if you like what you see there, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you always.